Joe Flacco is quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. He makes $22 million per year. George Clooney's a big-time actor, and in 2013 he earned $46 million. Most would say no one is worth that kind of money. I beg to differ. I'm Tom Miller, privileged to be pastor of Central Assembly in Superior, Wisconsin. This is Fuel for the Fire, volume 634, The Value of a Soul. Those salaries may seem exorbitant, but in reality, value is determined by what someone is willing to pay. Think of it this way. If all the houses in your neighborhood started selling for $1 million, your house would suddenly become worth $1 million based on what someone is willing to pay. So, what's a soul worth? It's worth whatever someone is willing to pay. The Bible says, "But God commendeth his love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." Romans 5:8. When you begin to see the value of a soul based on what Jesus was willing to pay, you start to realize just how important each person is. We can understand why the individual matters so much to God. Prejudice disappears when you begin to understand the value of a soul. Your soul and every other soul is worth everything to him. The soul of the mentally ill is not worth less. The soul of the unborn is not worth less. The soul of a poor man is worth the same as the soul of a rich man. As Luke 12:15 says, "A man's life consists not in the abundance of the things which he possesses." The human soul is of inestimable value based on the price Jesus paid. God sent his only Son into the world to die for every human soul. He used parables and stories to illustrate the value of just one sheep, one coin, one son. He would even leave the 99 to pursue one. Your value is determined by what Jesus was willing to pay for you. And Jesus gave his life so you could live. And I believe if you were the only one who would receive his gift, he would have done it just for you. Sometimes we feel as though we don't count or we don't have much to offer. We can feel worthless and without value at times. But our value is not determined by what we look like or what we do for a living or where we rank on the company ladder or Forbes list of richest people. Our value is determined by what someone is willing to pay. So let me remind you again. Jesus gave his life for you. He loves you. Your name is carved on his hands, pressed into his brow, and written on his heart. That makes your soul priceless based on what he was willing to pay. That's the way I see it. And that's a little fuel for the fire. And remember, I love you guys.